Recently, I've been seeing this trend in my workaday. Fuck. It's already been a few seconds. I'm already stuttering. I've recently been seeing this trend on YouTube in my recommendations called "Introduce Your Monster or Monsters from Your Childhood." So, I thought I would give it a try. So yeah, my first ever one is Mr. Smile. I'm pretty sure you know who Mr. Smile is. If you don't, then Mr. Smile is a giant blob made of human flesh and muscle. And there are countless mouths with smiling mouths with exposed gums and deformed and cracked teeth. Some are long, some are small, big, wide, thin, sharp, flat, cracked, smooth, rigid. Yeah, but anyways, my second one is Sky Screecher. Sky Screecher is a 140-foot tall, pale, malnutritioned humanoid being with no eyes and a constant gaping mouth with no teeth. He's hairless. You can see the outlining of his bones. He's very friendly. He's very friendly. He doesn't eat very often though. But yeah. He likes to watch me at night in the distance. I don't know why, but he just does. When I told my mom that Sky Screecher is watching me outside my window, this is when I was a child. She would always say, "Oh, honey, there's nothing there. Go back to sleep." Yeah. My third one is Skinner. Is he's a normal-sized human being, except he has a long neck. It's around 20 inches long. It's like he can move his neck around like a snake. He tells. I asked him why, and so he told me that he has no vertebrae. If you don't know what that vertebrae disc, muscle disc, the vertebrae disc, that little white fleshy thing between your vertebrae, it keeps your spine and neck in alignment, so it doesn't, make your head do a 180. But yeah, he also, what kind of disturbs me is that he has these two giant gaps in the sides of his mouth, revealing his teeth. He says that he scratched both sides of his cheeks so hard that ripped holes in them. He also scratched his nasal cavity and his entire nose until he accidentally ripped it off by scratching it, and he scratched his eyelids away so he can never blink again. But for some reason he still keeps his eyeballs moistured. Oh, and his right forearm and his left shin, that was a fucking bull, are stapled. I don't know how, and he never tells me why. My fourth skyscraper Skinner. My fourth one is TV Man. No, not a superhero. He's a robot. He's a 9-foot tall robot with multiple screens, with multiple large and small screens, ranging from his knees to his chest to his back, and even on his arms and his hands. But now in that he has a VHS slot. He has a VHS slot that reveals human teeth. Whenever a screen is turned off, because when the screen is turned on, it's just static with white circles for eyes. When it's turned off, I could sort of see through it, I could see through his head, and in his TV head is a skull, a skeleton skull. He tells me that not to ask about it because it's personal. My sixth one is Stitch Face. It's kind of obvious, but Stitch Face has stitches that ranges from his. He has one large stitch line that goes from his forehead down his nose and ends at his upper lip. He has another one that starts at his chin and ends at his lower lip. Two other stitch marks that start at the side of his mouth and ends under his earlobe. And he is unfortunately blind because his eyelids are stitched. I asked him if he has any eyeballs, and he does. Although his eyeballs are horribly scarred and red, because he says that before his face was stitched, he spilled a highly toxic chemical on his face, causing the skin of his face to melt off and make him go blind. But he's okay now. He's okay. My sixth and a half, I'm wondering why I'm saying 6.5, is the Tennant twins. They're stitched together. I'm not joking. There's Terrence Tennant and Torrance Tennant. Torrance is on the right, and Terrence is on the left. Torrance. The only way to tell them apart is their eyes. Torrance has blue eyes, Tennant has green eyes. Oh, and Torrance's left eye is stitched closed, and Terrence's right eye is stitched closed too. And not only that, both their sides, ranging from their bicep and their waist, are stitched together. So they walk in, I don't know, the same. Ever seen conjoined twins? They're kind of like that, but stitched. My seventh one is Lonely Shadow. Lonely Shadow kind of taunts me a bit, but he says that he's only joking. He has glowing teeth and glowing eyes, and yeah, he has glowing teeth and eyes. He has X's in his eyes. I still don't understand how he can see or even move his eyeballs. Oh, and there are many human or shadowy souls following him around. He says that he's constantly lonely, even though these little small shadow souls are constantly following him around. But yeah. My ninth one is Mystery. That's her name, Mystery. Mystery is it's kind of hard to find and even see Mystery in the dark. She's very shy. She can't speak nor touch any physical thing because they just pass right through. She could pick up light things such as paper and pencil, but heavy things she can't. She also has no face nor hair. She's just a shadow, a faceless shadow. Just like Lonely Shadow, except with a face. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Lonely Shadow is trans. He says that when he was once human, he was kicked out. His parents kicked him out for being trans. Even though that he likes to dress up as a boy, he's actually a girl. But he considers himself as a him instead of a her. And I said, well, I accept you. And he was very happy. Yeah. But he died getting his eyes gouged out. But he was reincarnated as a shadow. My tenth one is Radiohead. It's kind of obvious. He has a radio for a head. A 1950s radio. Radiohead is 7 feet tall. He's very bulky. He wears a dark brown tattered cloak with where the left shoulder of it is torn because, oddly enough, he has a radio infused to his left shoulder. Not only does he have a radio stuck in his shoulder, he has two other radios stuck in his abdomen. The one time I've seen him without his cloak and saw those radios stuck in it is when he was trying to get the dust off of it. And sorry if I'm itchy. Sorry if you hear me itching a lot. It's just really warm in here. But anyways, Radiohead has a dark and Russian accent. He doesn't speak Russian very often because when he was born in Russia, he wasn't taught any Russian languages. He wasn't taught any Russian because he was abandoned as a 1-year-old. But yeah, my 11th one. Yes, I have many monsters or cryptids. My 11th one is the Dots. Now don't get confused for them because there are 6 of them. Now they all look the same, but they have different symbols on their faces, or lack of face. Now they don't talk at all. I'm not joking. The first time I met all 6 of them, they never spoke a word. They have no hands. They literally have no hands. They're like children. Alright? They're like children. You know, they're like what, 4 feet? No. No, each one is the same height. They're 3'11". Yes, they're very short. They're short. They're like they're like, I don't know, 3-year-olds, but very creepy 3-year-olds. Yeah, but they know they know what to, they know what gestures to, I don't know, do to communicate. Like, they would wave hello or goodbye. But I don't know why they don't speak. Yeah, they have different. Yeah, the only way to tell them apart is the different symbols on their faces. My 12th one is. No, wait. Shit, not 12. 13th. 13th. My 13th one is frostbite. No, not the disease. No, it's not a disease. It's a natural thing, whatever frostbite is. Frostbite is a I don't know, humanoid creature that's made of ice, with hook shaped icicles on the front of his hands. Yeah. He has many, and if he bites you, scratches you, or even impales you with one of many icicles that appear all over his bodies, then not only will your fingertips fall off, but your entire limbs. It's like leprosy, but on steroids. That was bad. I'm sorry for that. Let's see what else. Oh, Lost Bear. Lost Bear is a girl. Same with Mystery. Lost Bear is or was a 9-year-old girl, but was stuffed by her auntie. And not only did she survive the being stuffed into the broken down suit of an old mascot of some old abandoned closed down toy store, but she was trapped there for many years. But then there were many poles to keep the suit's endoskeleton in place. And wouldn't you know it, when she tried moving her arm, it kind of triggered the poles, and in a mere second, all those poles and sharp pieces of thin metal just went all over her body, puncturing her diaphragm, lungs, her skin, fracturing many bones, ripping her mouth, not completely off, but opening her mouth up to rip the skin, and 3 other poles going into her eyeballs. Well, not into her eyeballs, but around her eyeballs, popping them out. Yeah, she later died, but was revived by, wouldn't you know it, Lonely Shadow, because he used one of the souls to revive Lost Bear. Yeah. My 14th one. No, wait. Lost Bear was my 14th. My 15th one is. What's his name? What's his name? Negativity. Well, he's mostly negative, but he has a split personality. He's mostly negative, but in some nights he will switch from negative to positive. His negative side is the black parts. Like half his limbs are shadowy black. Like half his finger between his middle and ring finger is a line that separates both black and white. The black parts are the insides, like his legs, like the inside of your arms, and his positive side, or white side, are the outer parts. And in the center of his abdomen is just a rectangular shaped cutout with a floating box. And is a small puzzle box that you can shift around. It's like a Rubik's Cube, but more complicated. And the only way to let out negativity is to shift his box until you align all the corners until you have to align all the corners perfectly in order for him to be free or be let out. And yeah, he has no mouth. Well, sort of. He does have a mouth, but there's a line that separates. His left side of his face is black with a regular white eye and black pupil, and his right side is white with a shadow eye. A shadow eye. Black eyeball, white pupil. Yeah. And that line between those two parts of his face can split, revealing very sharp teeth. Yeah. So negativity's personalities is positive and negative. Like the magnetic charge or electronic charge. We have negative and positive. But he would fight himself sometimes, or have an argument with himself sometimes. Like positive and negative would have different agreements and different opinions. Yeah. My 16th one. I think that's it. No. My 16th one is hooks. The tips of his fingers have hooks coming out of the skin. I'm not joking. There's hooks that come out of the tips of his fingers. On both hands, on all 5 fingers. Yeah, he has 4 hooks pulling back his mouth. 2 on the right side, 2 on the left side, and 4 more other hooks peeling his eyes open. 2 hooks peeling his upper eyelids wide open, and two other hooks peeling his lower eyelids open. So yeah. It's kind of hard to understand him since his lips are being pulled back or open because of because of the hooks. But I would try to make sense. But I always attempt to make sense of what he's saying, and I always get it wrong. And, yeah, that's it. That's every monster from my childhood. And I hope you have a good night.